that the duty to serve overrides, Mr. Speaker, the condemnation to throw in the towel. It is important as a leader, when you are faced with challenges, to provide solutions. If you become the kind of a leader that runs away from solutions, Mr. Speaker, then you miss that opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I've been asked by Mr. Nyutu Senator Nyutu and Senator Kalwale, Mr. Speaker, the question of why, Mr. Speaker, I should not ask the DIG Langat to step aside. Mr. Speaker, let me say this, that, Mr. Speaker, this is an ongoing investigation. To the best of my knowledge so far, the information we only have is that the Deputy Inspector General of Police, despite being the DIG, took the step to report what he thought was an act of or a crime committed against him. And Mr. Speaker, went low as reporting this to the DCI, and that investigation was done. And in the process of this investigation, somebody has died. Mr. Speaker, nobody has told me here whether the investigations lead to a particular result, whether it is to protect him or to exonerate him or to charge him, Mr. Speaker, is not my responsibility. That responsibility rests with independent police oversight authority if they find any culpability, Mr. Speaker. The rule of law demands from all of us, God forbid, should a senator here at the rank of minority leader, for example, report a case to the police and the suspect is arrested and dies in custody, God forbid that the minority leader, someone will say he must take responsibility. In the same breath, Mr. Speaker, there must be a link between the crime and the individual. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I will ask IPOA, and as I said earlier, as the Cabinet Secretary, I will not play a role in pushing for a particular person to be charged or a particular person to be exonerated. The evidence must lead to the suspect, Mr. Speaker. And when we are going for anybody, it must be based on evidence. Otherwise, if we lose that rule of law, people will be taking advantage of such occasions to do the same. Mr. Speaker, ask yourself, I was here in this chamber, Mr. Speaker, when as I said, my friend Kimani was abducted by police officers and killed in Machakos. Mr. Speaker, I was here when the case of Pepe Pendo happened. I was here when Koome happened. Mr. Speaker, the process, even when people thought that there will be no justice, justice was found because the right process was followed by IPOA. I think we should support IPOA to do their job instead of getting ourselves to the direction where the House can direct who should be charged and who not be charged. Mr. Speaker, I was a bit worried. I know there is privilege in the chamber. I was a bit worried when senators divert to the attention of determining who is to be charged and who is not to be charged. Mr. Speaker, it violates the same Article 245 of the Constitution and affects the question of rule of law. What we should be demanding is that every person who will be found culpable, led by the evidence, must be brought to book, regardless of the position, regardless of his relationship with anybody. Mr. Speaker, and the last thing was, there was something to do with reforms again. And to close in, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to assure Senator Haji. Mr. Speaker, when Senator Haji spoke, I was fighting tears because he spoke for all of us and he spoke for this country. Mr. Speaker, the life of Albert Ojwang is as painful, Mr. Speaker, as the life of Father Alois, who was killed by criminals. It's also as painful as the life of that person killed in Garissa. It's the same as the ones who died in Todonyang where I visited recently, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, in the national security architecture, we take every life seriously. We are glad that there is an opportunity today to discuss the question of the life of Mr. Albert Ojwang. I do not take it away from those who brought it to this chamber. But, Mr. Speaker, I want to assure the country that we take the same seriousness in every other life, just like the case of Albert. And I hope that also this chamber and the Republic will be conscious to deal with these issues when they come before us. Mr. Speaker, I remain seized of this matter. I will remain accountable to this House, and therefore, Mr. Speaker, I'm ready and willing to ensure that I respond to all the questions that this chamber. Mr. Speaker, in any case, in the statement I was going to bring to this House, there are also very weighty issues about abductions and police brutalities and citizens killing during protests last year. And I believe that, Mr. Speaker, when we get the time to come back again, these issues will have to be ventilated based on the responses that we are going to bring to this chamber. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now we are going to hear responses from the IG. IG, you mentioned the name of the senator and the question and proceed to respond so that we save on time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. The honourable members of the Senate, let me start by saying that I appreciate you very much. The questions that were raised here, they are questions that are weighty. They are questions that are very valid. They are questions that are also going to assist us, even when we're looking at our standard operating procedures and so forth. So I really, really appreciate your contribution. The questions that you asked, they are very, very important to us. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, sir, let me say that when I was being feted by Parliament, I did inform the Parliament that I will operate within the frameworks of the law. And I demanded the same from my officers, the members of the National Police Service, to operate within the frameworks of the law. That is the reason why myself as the Inspector General and the leadership of the National Police Service, we are pained by the loss, the late Ojwang, in our police cells there. We are pained. As a parent, I'm also pained for losing young Ojwang. I feel pained. Now, when we go to the questions, the first question was by Honorable Senator Okeshi. The circumstances that led to the death of the late Albert Ojwang. These circumstances are being investigated by IPOA. And as my CS has said, let us give IPOA an opportunity so that they can quickly be able to investigate and tell us openly exactly what really happened. Number two, Albert having hit his head against the wall. That is the information that came, the primary information that came from the same station. But in the subsequent why was he taken to Baghdadi and not Kenyatta National Hospital, which probably could be a little bit near? Let me say this. Both of them are government hospitals, both Kenyatta and Baghdadi Hospital. Maybe for the officers who are taking him to hospital, they made a decision to take him to Baghdadi, but both of them are government hospitals. And we believe that they have got what it takes to treat a sick person. Then there is also this question of the interdiction of the officers. Why is it that the Inspector General did interdict the officers immediately? The reasons as to why I did interdict the officer commanding Central Police Station, the duty officer of the night when the late Albert Ojwang lost his life, the officers who are manning the report office, manning the...
I just pause. Yes, what's your intervention, Senator Fokelev?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I can see he has now going to be answering those questions which were asked. I had a question as to why was he not arrested, charged, or put whatever in a custody or something like that in Homa Bay. Why did he have to travel all the way from Homa Bay to Nairobi and ended up losing his life here?
Senator for Kilifi, the IG has a list of all those questions. He will get to yours. Just be patient. Proceed, IG.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. This question was actually asked by Honorable Senator Medo, as to why I did interdict these officers, because these were the officers who were on duty there. And we wanted to ensure that once the IPOA takes over, the investigations are smooth and there is no one who is going to interfere with those investigations. That's why we wanted them to step aside and allow free investigation, because we wanted expeditious investigations to be carried out. We want to know who is this or who are these who committed that heinous crime. And we want to know it as quickly as possible. There was the question from for Bonharwere. That one has been answered by my CS. Then the question from Honorable Senator Manzayo, why Albert Ojwang was arrested in Homa Bay and why he had to be transported up to Nairobi. This question, the DCI is going to answer it very, 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 very clearly as to the reasons why he was transported from Homa Bay up to Nairobi. But basically, it is because in Nairobi, that is where the offense was actually committed. But DCI is going to give more details on that. Why the CCTVs were again interfered with? That is another question that was also asked by Senator Masayo. The Independent Police Oversight Authority is investigating the entire scene of crime. And they are going to tell us exactly what happened with the CCTVs. And if there is anyone who was involved in that, then punishment must be meted to an officer of that nature. So the same case applies to the question, who are these police officers who committed the crime of murder to the late Albert Ojwang? Again, we are waiting for answers from IPOA, who are right now investigating the same. And we are looking forward to the resolution of that issue soonest possible, because it's something that have actually captured the entire country into what happened on that date. The question from Honorable Senator Ojwang. Now, this question of withdrawing and apologizing to the Senate and the country on the question of the late Ojwang, Ojwang having committed, hit his head on the walls. I think, as I said from the word go, we allow the IPOA to investigate, and they are going to give us concrete answers, because I have already indicated that in the subsequent media briefings that I did, that situation was actually corrected.
IG.
On whether...
IG, you need to respond to that question in a better way. This was the question by Senator Ojwang, that through your official communication, the first information you put out there to the public was that the young man had hit his head against the wall and therefore died. Later on, after the autopsy was carried out, it was found to be totally different. The question that the senator then rose to ask was, would you, having put that communication to the public that the young man hit his head on the wall and died, would you withdraw that particular communication and proceed to apologize to the nation? That was the question the Honorable Senator asked. If you're unable to do that, you can also, that's also an answer.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. On that question, let me say this. Number one, if in the ongoing investigations by the IPOD investigators, we get to know the truth, the officers who issued the initial report that we relied upon, then they will have to face disciplinary proceedings as provided for by the regulations by providing incorrect information. So we are awaiting the outcome of the investigations of IPOA in that.
IG, we've had the benefit of hearing the representative of IPOA in the morning, and they were very categorical on what caused the death of this young man. What more do you want to hear?
Mr. Speaker, sir, from what we have heard here from the IPOA, although we have not yet gotten that report, we will proceed on and take appropriate measures on the officer who gave the primary report on that material day.
We have taken note. IG, proceed.
Then there was also the second question.
Honorable Senators, I think we are doing pretty well now. We are doing very well. What is your intervention, Honorable Mugatana? Now, IG, the reason why you're attracting a lot of intervention is because you do not want to open up and just tell the senators exactly what happened. We're here to hear the truth. Just give us the truth, and there'll be minimal interventions. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I have a lot of respect for the current IGP. In fact, a very professional police officer. But I wanted to remind him, the Constitution has given us, under Article 238, the principles of national security. And Mr. Speaker, on 238(2)(c), it says, in performing the functions and exercising their powers, national security organs shall respect the diverse culture of the communities within Kenya. And Honorable Senator Ojwang has said, to imply suicide from his cultural background, it is attracting a huge stigmatization of that family. So I'm inviting the IGP to offer an unconditional apology to the Senate in view of the post-mortem report that has been made public. And then we proceed, Mr. Speaker.
Mugatana is clear. IG.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. It is true, as Senator Mugatana has said, that going by the report that we have gotten from IPOA, that it is not true, he did not hit his head against the wall, but that is the report that we had from the word go. I tell my apology on behalf of the National Police Service because of that information. So there was also the question of how the police are trained. That question was clearly answered by my CS. He also did mention that FADS is also another constraint that has been delivering the National Police Service to enable us to train everybody within the service. Then there was also the question of how many were in the cell. There was also the question of how many were in the cell where Albert was held. Again, Mr. Speaker, sir, this question again will also be answered very clearly in the investigations by the IPOA of how many were actually in that cell. The questions by Senator Ojwang. As I have indicated, I myself am a parent. My other senior level commanders, they are all parents. By losing Ojwang, it pains me, it pains them. It is not right to lose them in a police cell. Now, when he arrived, or when he was brought in from Homa Bay, he was given an opportunity to call his family back home. As I did indicate from my statement that I was providing, where he did indicate to his wife that they had reached Central Police Station safely and he was safe. So that one confirms that when he reached Central Police Station, he was all right by his own statement to his own family that he was fine. So the second question is about why was Ojwang booked alone in the cells. As I have indicated there earlier, this is something that we are going to be provided with answers by the investigating agency, because these are some of the questions that it must answer. The questions that were raised by Honorable Senator Wabua.
IG, you 2 minutes ago you're doing fairly well, but I can see there's a relapse. The question was, why was this young man booked alone in a cell? And your response, if I got you correctly, is that matter is under investigation.
Yes.
Really, is that your response?
Yes. The matter is to establish the correct position.
Senator Ojwang.
Mr. Speaker, I'm assuming that the IG is proceeding sequentially, and he has conveniently avoided 2 questions that I asked. And that was why the Deputy Inspector General of Police is still in office when he was very quick to interdict or to give directives for junior officers to be out on the basis of the proximate cause theory. And I also asked a very specific question that came out of his submission, that there were other names. There were other 4 persons of interest. Are they alive? Or are they in a ditch somewhere? Are they at City Mortuary? He's supposed to tell us that if he's going sequentially. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed, IG.
In regard to the question that was asked by Honorable Senator Ojwang about whether to reassure the House that all the four that were mentioned are alive. I'm going to give an answer, but the rest of the details will also be provided for by the DCI. To say this, there was one suspect who was arrested, and by that time he had been placed at Kamukoji police station. When the file went before the ODPP raised issues that needed to be covered. Thereafter, the suspect was set free until such a time when the file goes back to the ODPP and he gives his recommendations. As for the rest, none of them had been arrested. So we believe they are still out there. About why the DIG is still in the office, the reason why I did not go back to that question, it is because the CS had given actually an answer on the same. He did respond.
Yes, proceed, IG. Proceed. We need to save on time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So that question of why Ojwang was booked alone in the cells, as I have answered right now. We are saying.
Honorable Senators, the IG has responded to that question. His answer may not be satisfactory, but it's an answer. That is what he replied. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. The questions that were raised by Honorable Senator Wabua. He first of all registered displeasure of the absence of the chair IPOA. I think that one was recorded. The questions that were directed to the AG is when at the Central Police Station, Albert was booked again alone in the cell. And I have answered that question there before. I have answered the question.
IG, can you repeat your response to that question so that it's clear?
My response to that question, I have indicated that why he was booked in that cell alone, it is something that we need the investigating team to also let us know, because there are a number of cells that are at the Central Police Station. And now, at that particular time, I don't have the figures of those who are actually under the custody of those cells. But in the investigation, in the course of the investigations, we are going to get out the answers very, very clearly, Honorable Speaker.
IG, your CS has tabled the police standing orders, which are very clear on how to handle a suspect, book him in, and all that. Under what circumstances, and that is what the senators would wish to know, under what circumstances can a suspect be put in a solitary confinement? And did this young man fit the description so as to be put in a solitary confinement?
Honorable Speaker, Once again, thank you very much. The CS have actually tabled the standard operating procedures through which the procedure that the police follow actually when someone is being placed in the cells, somebody has been arrested, brought in, the recording of the OBs, the recording actually in the cell register, and the number of even those suspects that are held in a particular cell is also very clear. So what I am not very, very sure of as at now is, and I'm looking forward to the investigation of the IPOA, why is it that he was alone in that cell? Is it that we had more cells? Is it that we did not have others who are there? So we are waiting for that question from IPOA.
Proceed, IG. Honorable Senators, let him conclude. We'll get better responses from IPOA. But before you proceed, IG, what's your intervention, Senator Mandago?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I just needed some small clarification, Honorable Speaker. I thought in the morning I heard the IPOA say, in the progress they have made, they have also recorded a statement from one of the detainees. And maybe the clarification is, was that detainee in the same cell with Ojwang? So that the question of whether Ojwang was actually in the cell alone. Can we marry the two? Because IPOA is here and police is here.
Yes, proceed, IG.
Then there was also this question, again from Honorable Senator Wabua, which he asked, how did the OCS confirm Albert Ojwang was fine when he was booked in? So again, that question goes back to the earlier question that I had answered, that when he reached the police station, when he was brought in at the Central Police Station, he was given an opportunity to talk to his spouse, where he did confirm that they had arrived safely and he is fine. And that record is actually in the occurrence book. And it was done by those officers who are at the report office at the Central Police Station. So that is actually the confirmation that he was fine when he reached the police station.
Certainly, it cannot be a point of order, Senator Onyonka. You may put forth your intervention.
Thank you. IG, there's a gentleman who was the OCPD of that police station at Central, Mr. Benjamin Talam. Are you aware that he refused to book Mr. Ojwang when he was brought in, and that is why he was taken to the hospital? And in today's newspaper, he said he refused to accept him because the condition in which he was in, he would not have been accepted into the cells, according to his training.
Mr. Speaker, sir, according to the information that I have, the late Albert Ojwang was booked in at the police station, Central Police Station, at 9:35 hours in the evening, and placed in the cells. Then the OCS, who is responsible for that station, was informed of the same. So the other one from the Honorable Senator, that one I'm not aware.
Honorable Senators, let's. I'm taking note, and Senator Wambua, I'll come back to you. Just run through the questions that you have for those ones that we feel are not satisfactorily answered. We will certainly have an opportunity, Senator Boni. Just proceed. Yes, Senator Boni.
Mr. Speaker, the public and the Senate are expecting that the witnesses we have this afternoon will shed light. And that light can only come out of the quality of the evidence that they are adducing. Mr. Speaker, there is something called a hostile witness. When a witness deliberately, with due respect to Kanja, either becomes economical with the truth or attempts to evade a question, he's being hostile. What is the value of this exercise if the IG, who is supposed to have convinced himself on how Ojwang was handled, how can he be the same one now deflecting that responsibility to IPOA? He's supposed to give evidence in the same manner he'll give to IPOA when IPOA will call him to appear before them, Mr. Speaker.
I know, honorable senators, the beauty of this is that we have all the players before us. He has shifted the burden to IPOA. IPOA is right before us. They will take to this stand and they will go through exactly the responses that have been put forth by the IG. If the IPOA representative wasn't here, then a lot would have left hanging. So, honorable senators, let us be patient. Let us be patient. Let us be patient. Proceed.
Much, Honorable Speaker. Maybe I can just read a small part of my earlier statement. That
just pick the question and respond so that we move.
So the question that had been asked here is, I would like to reply as follows. When they arrived at Central Police Station in Nairobi at approximately 21:17 hours, and at 21:24 hours, Mr. Albert Ojwang contacted his wife via mobile number that is also provided there to inform her of his safe arrival. Chief Inspector Taram, the officer commanding the police station, was contacted through his mobile phone. The number is also provided, and they authorized the booking of PC Mohammed Rashid Hiro Abdurai booked the suspect into the cells after confirming his normal physical and mental state was okay. Filed OB number 136/07/06/2025, which was done at 21:35 hours. That is the information that I have, Honorable Speaker, on that note. There was also the question of who interfered with the CCTV cameras at the station. Honorable Speaker, this question is amongst the many questions that the investigating agency who are actually looking, who deals with matters, criminal activities by police, to give us an answer on that one, so that we can actually now be able to take appropriate measures with anyone who interfered with the normal settings of the CCTVs around that station. There was also the question from Honorable Senator Veronica. The first question was, who deleted the Albert X account? Again, this question is going to be answered very clearly by the DCI. Who interfered with the CCTV cameras? And whether there is a backup of the same. So on the CCTV cameras, Honorable Speaker, is as I've indicated that we are waiting for the investigations to let us know who is it that actually did that kind of interference. On the issue of whether we have a backup or not, we have already given some experts an assignment on that, and we are going to get that report very soon when we are still here. And then the last one is that question of all police officers must at all times ensure that the rights of the suspects are respected. That is our standard operating procedures. For those who defeated away from that, then they must face the full wrath of the law. That is our position. That the officers, police officers must at all times respect the rights and freedoms of the people, whether they are suspects or not. I'm saying this because, Honorable Senator, police officers are at the forefront in the defense of the rights and freedoms of the people. So any officer who turns against that, he goes against the same law that he is supposed to protect. And they are, all of them, they are aware out there in all the stations, in all the deployment throughout the Republic, that the rights of suspects, the rights of the other Kenyans must be protected at all times. So as I have said, anyone who goes against that, then he must face the full wrath of the law. The questions from Honorable Senator Duro. Honorable Duro requested that I provide all the documentary evidences of the letters that the DIG did to the DCI. We have them, and I want to promise that by tomorrow, when we are attending the Committee of Senate, we will be having those documents with us. She did ask the same question: why does the police have to drive all the way from Homa Bay, the suspect from Homa Bay to Nairobi? That is, as I have answered there earlier, and the DCI is also going to give additional details on the same. The questions by Senator Abbas, Honorable Senator Abbas. Again, he was actually asking the same question, that there are several police stations along the line that the suspects was, driven from Homa Bay to Nairobi. There are many police stations along the line. So the question is, why is it that he could not be placed in any of these police stations along that transport corridor? My answer is, as earlier stated, that number one, the offense was committed in Nairobi, and that is actually the area of jurisdiction. That's basically the reason why the suspect was actually brought to Nairobi. Then there was also this question from Honorable Senator Haji, where he asked, why is it that the investigations could not be conducted elsewhere where the suspect was arrested? So the answer to that question is that the offense was again committed in Nairobi. That's the reason why the suspect was driven from Homa Bay to Nairobi. The last bit, where Honorable Senator Newton, he asked, why is it that the investigations have been done so fast? So again, he wanted to know who actually killed the late Albert Ojwang. As I had answered there earlier, Honorable Senator, I'm eagerly waiting to know amongst those officers who are on duty or any other officer who are involved in that transaction, who is it that did, or who is it, or who are they that are involved in the cold blood murder of Albert Ojwang? Then there's this question of since when did the police start assessing the well-being of suspects? That question, if you look at our occurrence book, it has got several columns. And in one of the columns, there is the physical state and also even the weather. So we do indicate in that particular column, how is the suspect looking like? Even the weather, if it is raining, we say it is raining. If it is chilly, it is cold. So they are there, they are provided for in that occurrence book, Honorable Senator. So it is on that basis, after he also spoke with the spouse, it was also confirmed that he did confirm that I'm okay and I have arrived safely in Nairobi. So based on that, the OB recorder recorded the same in the occurrence book. And it is there actually to be seen by everybody. The last question from Honorable Senator Nyutu was again, why was Ojwang transported all the way from Homa Bay to Nairobi?
Yeah, you've already responded.
I have already responded.
This is the 10th time. Just pick a new one, and you conclude IG. So
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I'm already through with the questions. Thank you.
Just hold on, IG. I think that few questions that you may have not noted down. Just remind the IG of your question.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, you ask, and if you ask and you're not answered, so it's fair that we remind the IG the questions that have not been answered. When IG, I asked a very specific question on the events of the 5th of June. That was a very specific question, and I don't want to repeat the question. I'm sure it has rung back in your mind that I said that on the 5th of June, so much happened, and the officers were in Kisii by 12:55. That question I had asked and you have not answered. And finally, why you chose Baghdad and not Kenyatta National Hospital? That was, yeah.
Honorable Methu, the IG responded to that question. You know, I think what you need is the second limb of Senator Methu's question is that the time computation does not add up. What do you say to that?
For that one, Honorable Speaker, the DCI have got a unit that deals with serious crimes. And in that unit, although he is going to give details on that one, in that unit, he has those who records the statements, those who are investigating on other bits of, every continuing investigations. So that's the reason why you find that once it has been confirmed, for example, by the CAK, has been confirmed by the EACC, then there is this team that moves immediately and effects, for example, the arrest. So that is basically the reason why you find that it is really not the same team that is seated at the DCI there that is doing all that, but it is one unit. So the information is passed to the other teams that are there.
Honorable Methu, I think he has passed the buck to IPOA and DCI. Exactly. So wait until DCI or IPOA, then they may be able to take that. So, honorable senators, let us now have IPOA take the stand. Senator Haji, you will. We still have all the witnesses around, you will. Exactly. Proceed, Senator Haji.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, this is an unusual sitting. It is sort of like a special sitting, an extraordinary sitting. The rules are not very clear, Mr. Speaker, and I would really wish that you would make a ruling so that we can proceed with speed and conclude in time. Mr. Speaker, if you allow everybody to ask a supplementary question, we will be here for a very long time. And we are not here, Mr. Speaker, as far as my understanding, to cross-examine the individuals that are here, appearing here today. If we were informed that that is the case, then we would have been here very well prepared to cross-examine every answer that is submitted to this House. So, Mr. Speaker, and also not to forget that this matter has also been referred to the committee. I don't know what you expect the committee to do, what work to do, if we are going to handle everything here today. And we don't have the time. So, Mr. Speaker, I indulge that you make a ruling so that we can move with speed and give opportunities to the senators who have not spoken today to also ask questions to the individuals that are here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, I was very clear on the procedure to adopt going forward. And I said we are going to hear all the witnesses. Thereafter, I was going to allow senators to ask for clarifications or ask questions. We did the first round before we adjourned for lunch. When I came back, the way forward I had communicated was, before we take the second round of senators, we allowed the witnesses to respond to the questions or clarification sought that were directed to them. Once we are done with that, we will take the second round of senators. Now, the problem is there are some questions that honorable senators have posed that have not found satisfactory answers. That those questions that honorable senators have posed, whom the IG has referred to IPOA. We are not here to cross-examine anybody. We are simply asking questions and clarifications from the witnesses that are here. So, honorable senators, I would urge us to do this. We step down the IG. A lot of his responses were actually shoved towards either IPOA or DCI. Allow the DCI. Allow the DCI because the IPOA will combine DCI and IG. So let us allow DCI to take the stand. Now, honorable senators, for us to make progress, let us minimize the interventions. Yeah, okay? Honorable senators, let us allow DCI to proceed to respond to the questions sought. And as the DCI does that, please let us not have any interventions so that we make progress. Proceed, DCI.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Senator and Honorable Speaker. And I would like also to appreciate Honorable Speaker and the members for giving me this opportunity to respond to some of the issues raised on the floor, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, an Honorable Senator has actually appealed to my religious faith. And I would like to categorically confirm that I fully understand the religious implications of swearing by the Holy Quran. I cannot please a human being so as to displease my Creator. So mine is to reaffirm that whatever I've said before the Senate and whatever I'm going to say shall be the truth and the whole truth, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, some of the issues that I'll be addressing to have been raised. It is cross-cutting, so I may not be able to attribute the questions to a particular senator. I wish to confirm that it is true that just like any other citizen, the DIG KPS, Mr. Lagat, filed his complaint with the DCI in view of the very, very serious allegations touching on the integrity, both on the office and on the person of the DIG KPS. And with those very, very serious allegations, his only recourse, Honorable Speaker, was to report the matter to the DCI, which is the investigative agency of the National Police Service, so as to investigate those allegations to its logical completion. There was nothing extraordinary with that report. Honorable Speaker, we have in the past received and investigated similar complaints from senior government officials, senators, members of parliament, and the investigative process has always remained the same. We receive the report, we investigate with a view to identify the culprits, and we take appropriate action. So the complaint by the DIG KPS, Mr. Lagat, was subjected to the same due process, Honorable Speaker, and there wasn't any preferential treatment as such. So I wish to confirm to this august House that throughout the subsistence of our investigations, the DIG KPS never interfered with the investigations whatsoever. Relating to the complaint letter and the statement, just like the IG has said, we are ready and willing to avail the same before this august House. The question on why the deceased, may his soul rest in peace, was transferred from Homa Bay to Nairobi. Honorable Speaker, the CPC Section 71, Cap 75, is very, very clear on the places of trial and jurisdictions. Ordinary places of trial for an offense is determined where the crime was committed. Our courts also do have jurisdictions, save for those courts that do have or enjoy inherent jurisdictions. For this particular matter, Your Honorable Speaker, the offense we believe was committed in Nairobi, but the arrest was done in Homa Bay County, and that's why the deceased had to be driven all the way from Homa Bay to Nairobi. You may also wish to note that offenses of cybercrime, Honorable Speaker, have a national jurisdiction, as there's no way of justifying the place it has been perpetrated. It is an offense that can be committed even when somebody is on a journey. So it has a national jurisdiction. Senator Kalwale alluded to the fact that we did not have a court order. And I would like to state very clearly, Honorable Speaker, that we do not require a court order to move a suspect from one police jurisdiction to another police jurisdiction. We don't require a court order. For this, for the deceased, he was booked at Mawega Police Station, that is Homa Bay, and booked out at 16:00 hours. And he was booked at Central Police Station 21:32 hours. There was an allegation that why we could not provide the CCTVs at the DCI offices in Mawega. I wish to confirm that we don't have a DCI offices in Mawega. It is a recently elevated police station from a police post, and we don't have the presence of a CCTV there. I further wish to confirm, Honorable Speaker, that the deceased was treated with utmost humility throughout the journey, all the way from Homa Bay to Nairobi by the arresting officers. Indeed, while at Narok, he asked for refreshments, and he was given some refreshments by the arresting officers. Like I said, Honorable Speaker, he was booked at Central Police Station at 21:32. At 21:24, the deceased was given an opportunity while at Central Police Station to talk to his wife. One Nefnin Apondi, on cell phone number 075808161, registered under one George Onyango, who apparently was the father. The vehicle that was used to ferry the deceased from Homa Bay County to Nairobi was a DCI vehicle, GKC519B Subaru Forester. And I can confirm, Honorable Speaker, without any fear of contradiction, that from Homa Bay, the suspect was driven straight to Central Police Station and nowhere else. And for this, we can technically confirm even the movement of the Subaru vehicle by using the GPS system. Some members were alluding to the fact that maybe the suspect was taken to DCI headquarters. And nothing can be far from the truth. From Homa Bay, he was taken straight to Central Police Station, where he was booked in the cells. And the actual booking, the digital booking, was done by the report office personnel. That via OB 136-76-2025 at 21:32, and it says that the suspect was placed in cells while appearing normal. And that was captured digitally. So there's no room for human manipulation. It has further been confirmed that before the booking, the report office personnel called the OCS. And it's unfortunate this is being said that Talam, Honorable Chair, Honorable Speaker, is the OCS and not the OSPD. That he declined to book the suspect. Talam is the officer commanding Central Police Station. And from the totality of things, he should be treated as a prime suspect in the matter. So, a question was raised about the whereabouts of the DCI arresting officers. Honorable Chair, I would like to first state that the fact in issue here is what caused and who caused the death of the late Albert Ojwang. We are not talking about the circumstances that led to his arrest from Bungoma, from Homa Bay, Honorable Chair. The arrest was legitimate and it was lawful. And he was arrested for legitimate reasons in view of the complaint and the subsequent revelations by our investigations. So, we know where the DCI officers are. They are actively on duty, Honorable Speaker. And they are available, if required, by IPOA for interrogation, for interview. And Honorable Speaker, if the investigation establishes that they participated in the killing of the deceased, then the law should take its course and suitable action be taken against them. In regard to one Kevin Moinde who was arrested and detained at Kamukunji police station, the Inspector General has very, very well elucidated that it is true he was arrested, and we forwarded the file to the DPP, who said that we did not cover certain points. And on the basis of that, he was released unconditionally until such a time when we cover some of the points raised by the ODPP. In regard to the other two, we did not arrest them. We don't know where they are, and we cannot confirm whether they are dead or alive, because these are characters we have never interacted with them at all. Honorable Speaker, it is true that the EACC confirmed the same day that our officers were in Homa Bay. When we are conducting investigations, Honorable Speaker, we task this division of labor. We give the teams specific tasks. We have the action teams. We have the teams that do the interviews, the interrogations, the writing of the correspondences, the compilation of the file. So it is not the same team that collected the correspondence from EACC, the same team that arrested the suspect from Homa Bay. And then finally, there was the aspect of who deleted the social media account. Honorable Speaker, this issue came after the fact of the murder. And we got this in the social media. And I believe in their investigations, because we are not the ones having the conduct of the investigations. This should be an area that should interest the EPOA team to find out, besides other issues, who actually deleted the social media account and why and when. I think those are issues that can be sufficiently addressed by the EPOA investigations. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I want to rest my submission there unless there's any other question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, IG. Just before you take your seat, the question as to why the young man was arrested in Homa Bay, not charged in Homa Bay, but transferred all the way to Nairobi, was asked to the IG, his response was that the crime was committed in Nairobi. That was the response of the IG. There's some questions was directed to you, DCI, and this was your response, that the crime under the Cyber Crime Act is a crime of a national jurisdiction, meaning it can be tried anywhere. If indeed that is the case, having arrested this young man in Homa Bay with a crime of national jurisdiction, why was he brought to Nairobi?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. When we are making the decision to determine where to take a suspect, there are several variables that we consider. One is the logistics and the investigation convenience. If we say that we take him to a court in Homa Bay, and majority of the witnesses are in Nairobi, the forensic lab evidence is in Nairobi, the complainant is in Nairobi. So because of that, and because of the logistic reasons, that's why sometimes we find it more convenient to have the suspect charged here in Nairobi instead of wasting a lot of resources going to Homa Bay. And that is provided for in our service standing orders, Honorable Speaker.
Let's hear IPOA. You may take your seat, DCI.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I was asked 4 questions, and the first one was from the Leader of Majority on the status of the young man as he left Homa Bay to Nairobi. And Honorable Speaker, the documents that we have obtained from Central Police Station, which include the OB, indicate that he was booked in as of good health. We also have the statements from the 5 arresting officers, the DCI officers, who alleged that he spoke to the wife before he was booked in. And in regard to that, we have written to Safaricom to be able to obtain the call log to verify whether it's true he spoke to the wife at the same time. And also, once we have the family statements, which are meant to be taken tomorrow, the same indication will come out clearly. The other thing that would have shown his condition clearly, Chair, is the CCTV, which in our report we have indicated was tampered with. And from the forensic reports, the forensic experts that we have at the authority, it's very clear that the CCTV was working, because the first thing the forensic expert and the investigating officer noted when they got into Central Police was that the power was not connected to the power cable of the CCTV was not connected to the socket. But on connecting it, the CCTV came back. But on trying to review the previous day's events, there was nothing. So it is very clear that the CCTV was tampered with, and we have referred the same to an expert to be able to retrieve the data. And on whether the retrieval will be successful will depend on if it was the hard disk that was removed or was just it was just a rest. So we are waiting for that, Honorable Speaker. There was also a question on the police stations which have CCTV. On the judgment of one Judge Ogola, he gave recommendations to us and also to the IG on the importance of having CCTVs at the cells, and we are pursuing that. And there was also a recommendation from, I think, LSK on the same. So we are pursuing that, and we have also done inspections and written recommendations to the IG on that. And I want to commend the IG because during his interrogation for the job, he spoke of the importance of having officers having body cams as they do their work. This would also be an avenue where we would have seen what really transpired. So I believe these are some of the reviews and some of the reforms that we would want to see NPS taking up. The other question was on the officers who are interdicted, what we are doing about them as an authority. And I had indicated in my report that the 6 officers were to report today for statement writing at the authority headquarters. And during lunchtime, I've confirmed they have reported and their statements were being taken. 8 of them, including the OCS, had already taken the statements. So of the 6, the authority saw 9 more, 11 more being persons of interest who are officers who are also around in the Central Police Station, and they'll also be taken in for for statement writing. There was also a question on how long we think as an authority we can give the same case to ODPP for prosecution. Honorable Speaker, with deliberation with my team, our legal team and our investigators, if you're given less than 10 days, we'll be able to have all the reports ready, given that we have around 4 or 5 things that we need to conclude. And Honorable Chair, we had given, we had a bill in front of this House through JILAC, that is Honorable Sigei's committee, on powers to arrest and prosecute. There was a question on why the officers have not been arrested. So these are still powers that we are seeking as an authority, because if given these powers, we'll be able to arrest and also prosecute immediately we are done with our investigation. And Honorable Speaker, we are committed. As the CS said, nobody is above the law. Our Act as IPOA gives us mandate and powers to summon anyone, including the IG, for statement taking. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Let us hear from the National Police Service Commission. Let him say for the record.
Thank you, Speaker. I don't think there was a question directed to the National Police Service Commission, but I just want to say two things. On the issue that has been alluded by the CS Interior and even the IG himself, we have had situations where the IG wants to do promotions, but officers have not undertaken the requisite career progression courses. And when the CS says there is more need to try and pool resources so that these trainings can be facilitated. And finally, that we are in discussions. It's the National Police Service Commissions which approves the curriculum, and therefore with all the other stakeholders, once it is developed, then it is the mandate of the Commission to approve that curriculum if there are new changes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Now, once Senator Sige, you have the floor, you will seek that and ask your question, because you are doing the second round of questions. Now, honorable senators, if you can be direct to the questions, we'll save a lot of time. I am persuaded to put a time within which to ask your question. So within a maximum of 3 minutes. A maximum of 3 minutes. If you want to make a speech, you'll need 5. But if you need to ask clarification, 3 should be enough. Senator Ali Roba. Senator Ali Roba.
Thank you very much.
Senator Ali Roba, just take your seat. I remember that Senator Nyutu had not concluded when we adjourned. So conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll take under 1 minute. I was stood down by the point of order by Majority Leader. And my last question actually was to IPOA. And I wanted to ask them how safe they are investigating people who have power to arrest and carry firearms. And Mr. Speaker, because I say this because Lawyer Willie Kimani was doing exactly what IPOA does, and he lost his life. So what is the security guarantee for IPOA? And DIG did not get my question, Mr. Speaker. He's saying that I claimed that investigation about this death has been speedy. I was talking about investigation about the claim made by DIG Lagat. It was speeded up. That is what I meant. And finally, to CS Murkomen, he said, he quoted to 245. Why we are demanding that DIG Lagat steps aside, it is because he is a police officer and this matter revolves around him. So you cannot liken this to a complaint that is made by a senator or somebody else. This is a police officer who can interfere and who can command even people, the officers that are investigating. So it needs to be made clear. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Crystal Asige.
That's very brilliant.
Thank you, Speaker. The clarification that I sought, which is not part of my 3 minutes, I hope, Speaker, was that the question was asked of whether Albert Ojwang was alone or with others in the cell. And the IG said that that would be answered by the DCI and or IPOA, and neither of them answered that question. So that was the clarification that I was seeking. And it was further highlighted by Senator Mandago, who said that there is a detainee witness statement that IPOA took that would probably shed light on whether he was alone or with others. That is the clarification. My first question, Speaker. Who issued, this is to DCI, who issued the orders for Albert to be driven from Homa Bay all the way to Nairobi? I would like to know who issued the particular instruction for that to happen and not to process him in Homa Bay. Next, the DIG personally, we have been informed, recorded a complaint. And who took down that complaint? I would like to know from the DCI as well. And who else recorded a statement in support of the allegations made by the DIG? That is also to DCI. Next is to the IG. I know that the IG Speaker already has said that many of the questions will be answered or will be revealed once investigations are complete, but this one perhaps he can answer directly. This is to the IG. You said in your first media brief that the cause of death was that he hit his head on the wall, Albert. And you've just clarified that that was wrong information given to you by the primary report by an officer. Who was this officer who gave you this false information that you then issued in your first media briefing that that misled the country as of the cause of death? That is what I want to know. And the reason I ask this is because if someone saw and alleged that he had repeatedly hit his head on the walls.
Senator Tobiko. Okay, Senator Asige, don't worry, I'll take care of that. Just have your seat. Senator Tobiko.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'll be very brief because a number of questions that I had have already been answered in the process. Mr. Speaker, because the DCI said the crime was perpetrated in Nairobi, that's why the suspect was brought to Nairobi. Yet cybercrime, social media, including X-Space, is not necessarily domiciled in Nairobi. It still baffles, Mr. Speaker, why the suspect was brought to Nairobi. But now that that happened, and he seems to have paid for his crime through his life. What then, Mr. Speaker, will be the recourse for a murder of this young man who has been murdered by the police? What will then be, the recourse for the family and for Kenyans in general, Mr. Speaker? Because there seems to be a crime on top of another crime, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I had also wanted, but the lady from IPOA has responded, I had wanted to know whether the interdicted officers have recorded their statements and what is the account of the account of the deceased since he was brought to the station. What was his situation when he was brought to the station? But he said those statements were being taken today in the afternoon. So maybe that we will get to know later on. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to know whether the officers at the station, that is the report office, the cell sentry, record at the OB, if they clearly stated the status or the health situation of the deceased before he was booked in. Mr. Speaker, it is also of interest to this House to know how many hours it took to pick Mr. Ojwang from his home to, what was the name of that police station? The first police station? Mawega. And then from Mawega to Nairobi. How many hours? Because that seems to have had so many hours in between, so that we know whether that is normal or whether there was a detour to some other place before he was finally booked into Nairobi. And then, Mr. Speaker, I also wanted to know the normal situation. Do police arrest to investigate, or they investigate, forward the case to ODPP, then the DPP recommends the arrests? What is the normal situation, Mr. Speaker?
Senator Muma. Senator Muma.
Thank you, Speaker. I'll be very quick. First, policy questions to the CS. CS, whatever you might call law or policy in Kenya, it would seem it doesn't work for police excesses. But in your speech, you seem to suggest that currently we are out of the woods on matters police excesses. I would want to ask, do you have any policy review proposals around issues of abductions and extrajudicial killings? Secondly, what is your view about commissions of inquiry and inquests as tools that will be used to investigate police excesses? Finally, for you, does the police have any curriculum on human rights approaches to service delivery? CS, that is different from human rights. Human rights approaches is about how you apply human rights in service delivery. For the IG, DCI, IPOA, severally and together, first, the offense of publication. Why did you not, or why do you not consider inviting the person you think has offended to come to the police station for you to ask them questions? Why do you need to deploy a whole vehicle, and you're complaining about resources, all the way to arrest one person? Secondly, IG, it will be good for you to confirm that what your communication director issued, I don't think it's reached even 2 minutes, please. What your communication director issued is actually, I want you to confirm again that it was a false statement that he issued. Thirdly, does IPOA have an independent forensic lab where you're going to carry your...
Senator Kenya.
Asanti Bwana Spika. Swali langu ni kwa DIG Kanja. Ninauliza ya kwamba kwa sababu walipomfikisha Albert Ojwang, walipomfikisha pale Central Police Station, tayari yule ambaye ni afisa mkuu wa pale katika ile police station ambaye anaitwa Talam hakuwako. Inasemekana alipigiwa simu kuulizwa kama atakubali yule Albert Ojwang aweze kuwekwa katika ile seli. Ni utaratibu wa katika polisi zetu, yeye afisa ambaye anasimamia station awe akiulizwa kama mtu yoyote ambaye analetwa katika police station awekwe ndani au la. Hilo ndi swali langu la kwanza. Swali la pili, ya kwamba hawa maafisa ambao walikuwa pale ikiwemo Talam tayari wamesimamishwa kazi. Na Talam hakuwa katika, yeye makosa yake ni kuwa yeye ndiye afisa mkuu katika ile police station ya Central. Tutafika mwisho wapi kuwasimamisha watu kazi, kwa sababu kulingana na mwendo huo afisa mkuu wa polisi wa Nairobi, kwa sababu ako na mamlaka, anapaswa kusimamishwa kazi. Siye huyo peke yake, afisa mkuu wa polisi katika Jamhuri ya Kenya anapaswa kusimamishwa kazi. Kabla tufike hapo, naibu wa Inspector Generali anapaswa kusimamishwa kazi. Kutoka pale, waziri wa usalama rafiki Profesa Kipchumba Murkomen anapaswa kusimamishwa kazi ama kujiondoa, ndio tuweze kuonyesha ya kwamba mwisho wetu ni wapi. Kwa sababu ikiwa huyu afisa Talam atasimamishwa kazi kwa sababu yeye ni afisa tu mkuu na hakuhusika moja kwa moja, unasema ya kwanza hata alipigiwa simu hakuwa katika police station kuulizwa. Ikiwa makosa yake ni kwa sababu ni mkuu, basi moja kwa moja inamaanisha mtu yoyote ambaye anahusika, afisa yoyote anahusika, anapaswa kuchukuliwa hatua. Na mimi Bwana Spika, zoezi hili kwangu naona tusilifanye tu ili ni zoezi lisilo na maana yoyote, tumalize siku ya leo alafu tuende nyumbani. Ni mpaka tupate majibu, wale ambao wamehusika wachukuliwe hatua za kisheria. Nashukuru Bwana Spika.
Senator Beatrice Kenya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my first question is, on this famous call, there's been an emphasis on a call that was made to the wife. And in some background, we've always known that people who are going to die, to be hanged, who are facing the hangman, they're always given what they want. Was this a prelude? Why is this emphasis on the call to the wife? Was Ojwang being given an opportunity to talk to his better half, knowing what would happen the next level? And two, to all the officers that have taken oath from the CS, IG, DCI, NPC, and IPOA, and I know your parents, what message, each one of you, given an opportunity, would you give to the family of Ojwang publicly? A message or an advice, one by one. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, to the CS, what is the motive of this murder? It is a coincidence to me that we are just coming from a Madaraka celebration in Homa Bay. Why this murder at the time it happened? CS, are we able to get deeper and get a motive Did we rub somebody or some group the wrong way so that they had to get this death to Homa Bay? And lastly, to the IG, what is your take on Hammurabi laws? An eye for an eye. Thank you.
Senator Ali Roba.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
All the honorable senators are rising on a point of clarification. So immediately Senator Ali Roba is done, you'll take the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to now, Mr. Speaker, can I be heard in silence, please? Mr. Speaker, mine is just a very simple question. Part of it was answered by IPOA when she responded to the questions. But the last part that I want to ask, coupled with a short statement, is that now in processing the persons that have become persons of interest from the time you've taken over this process of investigation, have you exhausted in terms of these persons of interest? What is not adding up for me is where a DIG raises a complaint against a suspect, and that process is undertaken through DCI by the suspect being processed, picked from his house, booked at intermediary police station near the home, brought to Nairobi and booked in a cell, and then the suspect is killed in the ward. You know, what is not adding up for me is that, you know, whereas the situation is extremely tense, there is a position of preconceived conviction before the investigation has been completed, which we need to really go deeper into investigating. It's not adding up. You don't point fingers at you every step along the way that you are the suspect. You are the suspect until the killing happens. So my cautionary statement is that can we broaden our investigation in order to make sure that we don't narrow down just on the basis of the fact that they are pointers rather than conclusions. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Hezana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And first of all, let me convey my deepest condolences to the father and family of the late Ojwang. And Mr. Speaker, the cost of death is very expensive, and every death is every life is very precious. We go through this every day in Samburu County. Our people have been murdered like flies, and it has become the norm. Only that we are a minority in this country, and the only weapon we have to defend our people is the Constitution of Kenya. And I wish that the same Constitution is respected by everybody in this country, no matter what community or region you come from. Just the other day in Homa Bay, we were having jubilations, and as a young citizen, I was so happy that finally we have a regime that is considering every part of this country, especially the forgotten parts of this country. And I had a hope for me and my fellow youth that finally we will have a country where development will not be discriminated to specific regions because of population. Mr. Speaker, our Constitution is a double-edged sword, and it's a protecting tool for everybody, regardless of which position you hold, where you come from. And as legislators, we are here to protect the law and the people we represent equally. Every citizen has a right to a fair hearing, and evidence is very crucial
in establishing the culprits. I am not a lawyer, but they say that you are innocent until you're proven guilty. What baffles me is how suddenly Homa Bay is weeping after just having jubilations the other day. And now the whole country is like weeping with Homa Bay. That is so sad. Mr. Speaker, I have had the IPOA, and my question is directed to them, saying that the CCTVs were tampered with. I would like to ask, if the CCTV can be tampered within an institution that is supposed to protect us and ensure security in this country, then which place is safe in this country? Because I can assure you Samburu was not until a few months ago. In the case of tampering of the CCTV and evidence, what usually does IPOA do to make sure that there is a fair hearing to both parties? And while at it, I beg everybody to reason with sobriety and stop blame games, because that's why we are legislating.
Senator Mofire. Honorable Speaker, I wish to send my deepest condolences on my behalf and the behalf of Naraka County. Honorable Speaker, it is very painful, sad and regrettable that a young soul has died in the hands of the very people and institutions that are supposed to protect lives. Honorable Speaker, I'm speaking on behalf of thousands of Kenyans that the most mentioned person in this saga is Mr. Erion Lagat. A senior police officer, actually the second most powerful policeman in this country. The general mood in the country, Honorable Speaker, is that Mr. Lagat is an accomplice in the whole Manda saga. So I'm seeking to get answers from the IPOA and the Commission of Police and the DCI. What steps do we expect your good office and that of IPOA and the IG to address concerning and make sure that the millions of Kenyans are being addressed this matter? Number two, Honorable Speaker, many Kenyans have the view that the suspended police officers is a cover-up. Is it possible for you to parade these officers before this house to hear their side of the story? Thank you. Senator Oburu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, many questions have been asked by my colleagues and many questions have been answered. So I will be very brief. Mr. Speaker, I would like to know whether there are laws which only apply to the ordinary Kenyans and they don't apply to the high in society. Mr. Speaker, I'm asking this question because the director of CID has told us here the way they investigated, and they were investigating based on complaint from the deputy IG. And that complaint from the deputy IG led them to go into great details of a so-called cybercrime, Mr. Speaker. I'm wondering whether if an ordinary Kenyan went to complain about a cybercrime, anything would be done. Me, I have complained, I have been defrauded of money. Did this young man defraud anybody of anything? Or was he just an ordinary blogger? I have complained when I've been defrauded cybercrime and the police take no action. They don't take them seriously, Mr. Speaker. Are there laws which are meant for others and not for others? Mr. Speaker, as politicians, are we treated differently? These bloggers, this boy is just a blogger. He was defaming somebody. For us, we are defamed every day, Mr. Speaker. We are defamed on a daily basis. And there is not treated as a crime. And if somebody thinks that is making me famous, it is making me more famous by raising those issues. So I don't mind, Mr. Speaker. But when Does he want to tell us that the whole process of going to Homa Bay, doing the so-called thorough investigations, that the complainant himself, who is the second in command of police, was completely innocent? He was just standing by and watching. He didn't know what was happening. That is just an innocent complainant like any other Kenyan. Mr. Speaker, I don't believe that the deputy IG was an innocent complainant like any other, and his role must be investigated in this matter. The small man at the police station in Central Police Station, that is a very small person, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Lelegwe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Vice Chairperson of IPOA, Anne Mwangi, just informed the House that the CCTV footage or CCTV itself at the Central Police Station was interfered with. Mr. Speaker, my question is to the IG. What measures will you take to preserve and review the CCTV footage, cell records, duty rosters, and visitors' logs from the time Ms. Ojwang was in custody? Lastly, to the IG, whether there is an existing or planned national database to publicly track and report deaths in police custody. Thank you.
Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like, just on the same note, the digital logs entered during the last 5 days of the CCTV at Central Police Station, names of officers with digital credentials, rights of those that can delete, the CCTV footage, because it cannot be done by anyone. And then names of officers that entered their credentials to delete records on the day of the death, and then names of officers that entered their credentials or delete records or soon after the transfer of the deceased to Baghdadi Hospital. Mr. Speaker, that information should be available from that platform. And how sure are they then that it wasn't under threats?
Honorable senators, may the senator from Murkomen be heard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know what happened about the communication to spouse? Was it not under duress, Mr. Speaker? And Mr. Speaker, on that particular issue, how sure is IPOA or any investigator that Albert did not arrive at Central Police Station already injured, and then he's booked in, and then he worsens and passes away, and without investigating the DCI officers, you go on to condemn the police officers, yet this person may have come there already injured? Was it established that by any medical person before he's booked in his status, or was it just by looking, with the eyes? And then finally to the Honorable Murkomen, are you aware that there's no policy in your ministry which has gone through this parliament so that it becomes a policy? Because without bringing your policies to parliament, they are null and void. And very finally on you, are you aware the so-called police standing orders? They fall under regulations and they are expired, and you have not bothered as a lawyer to bring them here so that we may renew them. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Seki.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to direct my question to the IG and the CS. Honorable Speaker, somebody had just asked about the fairness of the officers who have been given interdiction. But there is one officer who was adversely mentioned in this issue. And for fairness of civil servant, not because somebody is running an office and is senior in that position, I still and strongly believe that Langat, DIG, must be interdicted to await the IPOA verdict, Honorable Speaker. And this question must be brought, that fairness must be brought by the IG and the CS, rather than escaping because somebody is holding a big office and yet is just equal like any other officer who have been interdicted. The same law, the same regulation, the same public act is the one that works to all the civil servants. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Betty Montet.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mine is simple, and I'm going to direct it to the DCI. From the little I know, because I've never been on the wrong side of the law, is that if a suspect is brought in by the DCI, they are booked in the OB by the DCI, and they are the only officers who can come and remove that person. My question is, who is the DCI officer who booked Albert at Central Police Station? Who is the officer at Central Police Station who had the keys to the cells? Who did the officer give the keys to so that Albert can be harmed? And who is the investigating officer in the CID department? Thank you.
Senator Wakili Sigei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I first of all want to join the rest of my colleagues in sending my deepest condolence to the family of the late Ojwang. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, questions have been asked and answers have been given. The importance of this session, Mr. Speaker, is underscored by the fact that we did suspend our normal business for purposes of this particular inquiry. I am, however, of the very critical concern that it should not be lost in us that this is a preliminary process. The investigation reports so far received from among the officers, whether from the office of the DCI or the IPOA, is that preliminary. It's true that we have got various parties. We have got those who are being investigated, we've got those who are being suspected, and we still expect so much to come, to the extent that I would hope, even as we make the questions and statements we are making, we are not doing that for the sake of doing it, because this calls for much more than just the questions we are asking the IG or IPOA to give us responses to. My question, which is of a greater concern, is to the IPOA, that is the institution which will carry a heavy load in this particular investigation. I am, of course, not very happy that the chairperson of that institution found it very important to be engaged in some other engagements other than this, which is very important today. We have not been explained to what is that which is very important that took him away from being in this house today. I tend to believe that the team that is presently here will take the investigations and the questions that have been asked as critical and as important as it is, notwithstanding the absence of the chairperson. They have asked for a period of 10 days within which they would conduct investigations. How I wish that could be less than the 10 days they are asking, and the commitment hasn't come from their end, so that even as Kenyans complain, even as Kenyans raise concern about the death of Ojwang, and the rest of us have suspended our business, we needed less than the period they are asking in order to get to the bottom of this investigation and to tell Kenyans the truth. This is not the time, Mr. Speaker, to make very popular statements. It might sell today, but are we dealing with it in posterity? That should be the question we should ask ourselves, even as we interrogate and as we ask the answers from the entities who are present this afternoon. Thank you.
Senator Professor Margaret Kamara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I also didn't get an opportunity yesterday, so I would like to join colleagues in passing my deepest condolences to the family of Ojwang. Mr. Speaker, losing a child is never easy and was still an only child. It was very painful to all of us. Mr. Speaker, I only have one question to IPOA. Now that the autopsy results have come out and suicide has been ruled out, IPOA has mentioned to us that they have been taking statements since morning. What is the breaking news since morning? Do we know any leads? Because the country is listening to us. We have kept the minister, we have kept everybody here, but there are people who have been doing investigations. Have people been arrested? Have they been arrested? What is the current situation? Because, Mr. Speaker, the public have always been accusing us that when a senior person dies, the security system moves very fast. We need to know as of now, between yesterday when suicide was put aside, was ruled out, what exactly is going on as we are in this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator for Nandi County.
Finally, Chair, Mangetu Jitaran, Mr. Speaker, I want to ask the following questions. One to the IG and DCI. CCTV, we need to do the CCTV of Central Police Station. They are said has been tampered with. We need accountability from 9 p.m. Saturday, 7th June 2025 to 8 June 2025, 4 a.m. Sunday. And yet in the records of OB, your current book, it says Albert was booked at 3:45 a.m., 2:35 a.m., and he was dead by 3:45, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, to the CS, you flew to Nandi a few weeks ago when Father Albert Alois Cheruiyot Bates was killed. You told the family you know the killers. People have been ill in Angata Baragoi. People have been killed for the minor. Mr. Speaker, when you read Article 245 and 240, the Ministry of Interior suffers from leadership crisis. And it is good the nation has seen the incompetence of CS Murkomen on this matter. And if anybody has to resign, we must start with the Cabinet Minister Murkomen, Mr. Speaker, because that is where the buck stops with, Mr. Speaker. And I want to tell you, Murkomen we have today is different. Abraham Lincoln say, if you want to know the true test of a man, give him power and money. If all of us can withstand adversity, Mr. Speaker. And the CS must tell this nation, because I heard he has a wrong assertion that he's barely in office 6 months. Does he need 10,000 years to make change in this country, Mr. Speaker? Finally, he has not presented any policy on police brutality as per Article 245 and 240, Mr. Speaker. I think it is a high time that the President must do a reshuffle, take the Cabinet Minister of Interior back to sports, because he like lettering Muchezo in the business that we are discussing about this country, Mr. Speaker. And we will not sit and allow this to happen, Mr. Speaker. Everybody must be held to accountable, Mr. Speaker, and there is no law. Mr. Speaker, his PS, and I want to find out from him, his PS Omolo, when Ongondowere was killed, he used to give blow by blow information. What is happening to Albert Ojwang? What is happening to Father Alois Cheruiyot Bates? What is happening to Angata Baragoi who was killed, Mr. Speaker? He must be held accountable. If he doesn't want to be held accountable, let him take a walk, Mr. Speaker. So my questions are to the CS and the question to IG and DCI, Mr. Speaker, so that we, and being a guest of most of these cells, I have slept in them, Mr. Speaker. And I don't fear to sleep in it in future, because I know how to maneuver myself. The only danger is I might be killed. But what I want to find out from these police cells that we're having, is it have CCTV cameras in most of these, Mr. Speaker? Are they introducing CCTV cameras to all police cells across the country? Or is there a slow modus operandi that shows that you can be arrested in Nandi, the way I was driven for 4 hours, and that day I never got even a soda.
Senator Hamida.
Asante Bwana Spika. Waswahili wanasema mkuki kwa nguruwe, kwa mwanadamu uchungu. Watoto sio Albert peke yake, lakini watoto wengine pia wa watu wamefariki. Huu ni mwezi wa akili, wanaita mental health. Nashindwa kama wazazi wa Albert wamezungumziwa. Wazazi wa Albert, kama serikali imeweza kuwafikia kweli, kuwasemesha na kujua kuwapatia imani na watoto wao. Ya kwanza ni kuuliza kwa IPOA, mumeweza kuchukua statement kutoka kwa IG Langat? Yeye ameshaandikisha statement, na mpaka sasa mbona hatujapata kitu chochote kile kimeshikanisha na mtu yoyote? Na Mheshimiwa Were kweli alifariki, lakini na siku mbili tulipata wanaitwa nani, washukiwa wakuu, lakini leo mpaka saizi ya Albert bado hajapatikana. Nashindwa. Na ya pili ni kuwa Albert alipewa nafasi ya kukutana na wakili wake, hata kuzungumziwa, manake yeye alikuwa na nafasi ya kupewa nafasi na wakili, Amin, awe na wakili wake. Alipewa nafasi ya kukutana na mtu yoyote. Albert ameshikwa siku moja, na hiyo siku kila kitu kikaendelea. Akafa, akagongwa hiyo siku na akafa hiyo siku, na imethibitishwa kuwa kutoka kwa IPOA kuwa Albert hakujinyonga, Albert hakujiua, Albert aliuliwa. Hii damu ya Albert na hii machozi ya wazazi wa Albert itadhulumu kila mtu yule alipatikana na hiyo mambo. Na leo tusifiche, leo tuweke mambo paruanja kwa mtoto yule amefariki. Leo ni Albert wa mtu mwingine na kesho ni wenyu. Kwa hivyo tunaomba haya mambo yawe wazi. Kwa hivyo tunataka kujua statement ya IG Langat imeandikwa ama haijaandikwa, na kwa nini imechukua nafasi hii na time hii yote mpaka sasa hatujapewa kitu chochote, yani uwazi kuwa ameshikwa ama ameambiwa chochote. Tunaomba kingine tena ni kuwa wazazi wa Albert wafikiwe kwa leo, wazungumziwe na waambiwe kinaga ubaga ni nini. Babake Albert analia, anasema huyo mtoto ni mkono mmoja tu, ni jicho moja tu. Kwa hivyo leo mtamcompensate nini wazazi wa Albert? Langu ni hilo tu.
Senator Mundigi.
Asante Bwana Spika. Swali langu naomba kujibiwa. Wakati Albert aliletwe kutoka kwa ile county na kuletwa Nairobi kwa station, na tunajua kila station iko na askari, na kila dakika kidogo kama lisali moja kuna kuja watu wengine wanakuwa pale, kwa hiyo station haifungangwi. Wale askari walikuwa wanalinda hiyo station walikuwa wapi? Ya pili, katika Kenya ING, wakati ulikuja hapa tulikupitisha na tukajua utarainisha upande wa ulinzi. Kila sub county ulikuta watu wa guidance and counseling wangapi? Kwa sababu tunajua askari wengine wako na pressure, ni watu kama sisi, wengine ni watu wa kunywa pombe, na wale watu wanaenda kushika kule masinani ni watu ambaye waro chafu. Tunataka kujua ulikuta watu wa guidance and counseling wangapi, na pia umeongezea wangapi? Ya mwisho, katika Kenya tuko na ING moja na deputy ING. Kwa sababu najua Speaker aulisangu swali, hiyo swali nataka Senate nijibu. Wakati watu walikuwa kuitwa hapo wakuja hapa, ule mwenyewe deputy ING aliwaswa wapi? Ndio atuelezee ni nini ilikuwa inaendelea, kwa sababu yende ikawa sio ING avai kujibu ile maswali iko hapa yote.
Senator Richard Onyonka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to say, number one, this is a sad event. The young man was not transported from Homa Bay on any other day. The family said he was picked on the 6th, and on the 7th, he died. There's a letter that I want the IG to look at that you give as a press conference where you said that the gentleman was actually picked and he did not go to Central Police directly. He was kept at the DCI offices. The letter exists, you can refer to it. The DCI denied that the gentleman was not taken to their offices. My honest observation is this: our country has got issues. Right now, we can try and sanitize where we are. These events they are sequential. If many of you in this house can remember, there was a lady called Njeri, a blogger. She was picked up. If people had not made noise about her, she would most probably be dead. Gentlemen who did the BBC documentary were arrested. Up to now, we don't know whether their case is in court or not. Then this young man dies. And of course, many of you have talked about Ongondo Were's case, which is now a good case of the government getting involved. We have lost so many Gen Z. You remember the dam where these kids were being dumped? Yeah, I hear many people talk about Yala. Forget about that. Let's bring an inquest, an inquiry to this house to investigate whether it is from Yala all the way up to every single person who was killed. These children have never been compensated. These children have never been talked to. Their families are treated like rubbish, and we are very comfortable. I know after this thing is held here today, everybody's going to go home, and it's going to be business as usual. I wish you all the best. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Morango.
Asante sana Mr. Speaker. Unajua kutangulia chanoni kuzindi tonge. Kwa hivyo walionitangulia wameuliza maswali mengi muhimu. Kwa hivyo sina mengi ya kuuliza. Mr. Speaker, swali langu litaenda kwa IPOA. Niwaulize katika uchunguzi wao mahali wamefikisha hadi sasa, mshukiwa Albert Ojwang mmepata kama alikuwa peke yake katika ile seli aliwekwa ama walikuwa na wenzake? Hilo ndilo swali langu la kwanza. Na la pili ni kwamba katika kanuni za kushughulikia wafungwa ambayo tumepewa leo na IG, linasema kwamba mshukiwa anafaa kuwa na uhakiki wa kiafya kwamba ako katika afya nzuri kabla hajawekwa katika seli. Ningependa kuuliza IG kama kuna stakabadhi zozote ambazo zinaonyesha kwamba vipimo vilifanywa na Albert kuonekana alikuwa sawa kabla kuingizwa katika seli. Swali hilo lingine, IG na ameomba msamaha kwa sababu walipotosha nchi na kwa kusema kwamba Albert
the right in freedom and security. Whether physical or psychological. Honorable Speaker, last week we lost 4 people in Loyangalani. 2 of them are between 19 and 20, and 2 others are between 35 and 75. A police officer, OCS, was injured in that fracas. OCS Marua is in Nairobi West Hospital, currently hospitalized with a gunshot wound on his 2 legs. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I really condole the friends and family of Albert Ojwang. Honorable Speaker, I have a very good question. This is a very simple question. Safaricom, how are they involved in this matter of identifying people? When you are even in a toilet, a police officer will get to you. Can we ask Safaricom to come before this house and tell us what is going on? Number 2, this is a question to DCI. There is of course, long before apprehending a suspect, they normally have a request for that person to appear before a police officer. Why do you go all the way to Homa Bay to arrest an individual for just a minor case? Why don't you ask him to come and report to the nearest police station? Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Karungo. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And just to feel a bit safe, I think the Sergeant at Arms should be close to me, owing to the fact the gentleman behind me ordered my arrest a few months ago. Mr. Speaker, the question is not what Ojwang did. The question is, why did they kill Ojwang? Mr. Speaker, we have told that he was brought to Nairobi because the crime was committed in Nairobi. Is social media Nairobi, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, why was Ojwang grilled at the comfort of the DIG office at Vigilance House rather than Kiambu Road DCI headquarters where they do all these kind of investigations? We were told here by the IG himself he was taken to Vigilance House. Mr. Speaker, who ordered the arrest? Because I think that one has not been put clearly here, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and just to advise the Senator of Garissa, before he lectures again, it took the death of the firstborn of Pharaoh for Pharaoh to let the Israelites go. It has taken the death of Ojwang for us to confide together and say we have to fight this to the end. He's a martyr, Mr. Speaker. And so we must say as a Senate, no one else should die. Mr. Speaker, no one else. And if anybody dies at the hands of the police or anybody else, Mr. Speaker, don't bury them, Mr. Speaker. The family should not bury them. We should be going to every police station, Mr. Speaker, to tell them that you killed this man, we need justice. Even Ojwang should not be buried, Mr. Speaker. He shouldn't be buried until we get justice, Mr. Speaker. My question to CS Murkomen: who is killing us? Who is killing Kenyans? Who is killing the youth? If you do not have that answer, Bona CS, because 4 years ago on the floor of this house, you said, let us not sacrifice Kenya. We are not going to sacrifice Kenya, but we must sacrifice someone who is in line from the DCI, IG, the DIG, even the CS. So propose to us who should step down on this issue, at least justice to be done and also to be seen to be done, Mr. Speaker. And as I rest my case, The officers who arrested Mr. Ojwang, Mr. Speaker, all the way from Homa Bay, it seems they were an okay officer. They were fine. They were giving him the phone, talk to your family, talk to your friend. They even a clip that is online. So it seems those officers were doing their work. We need to find out, after he arrived in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, who did what?
Senator Kisang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to associate myself fully with the sentiments done by Senator Fokariza. Honorable Speaker, those of us from North Drift, we have suffered for so long, and I wish the media could have helped us and highlighted the way we are doing this, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I have three questions. Question number one to the DCI. How is Chief Inspector Talam a main suspect, as you have alleged, and you have told us Talam was not in the police station during this particular period when Ojwang was brought to Central Police Station? Second, Honorable Speaker, I want to find out from the IG. I don't know if there is harmony in the senior rank of National Police Service from the IG all the way, because I'm suspecting they could have used this opportunity that was a complaint raised by DIG Langat to settle some scores, because we know in the next 1 or 2 years there's going to be succession in the National Police Service. Third, Honorable Speaker, is to CS Murkomen. You have heard from my colleagues here that cybercrime is not really a very serious crime. There is an opportunity for you to have a policy where those who are suspected to have done cybercrime to be invited to go to police stations instead of being looked for. Because I expected the DCI to have used the same resources they did and went to Homa Bay to look for those who killed Father Lois. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Essie Okenyure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I wish to say that the issue of Ojwang is a very emotive issue because, Mr. Speaker, we have spoken about every other thing, but no one is speaking about the young lady wife who's been left behind, the young child. Cabinet Secretary CS Murkomen, I would wish that out of empathy we commit to assisting the young lady and child who's been left behind. Mr. Speaker, I also wish to find out an explanation on the time difference, because on an ordinary day when I leave Kisii for Nairobi, it's less than 4 hours, I'll be in Nairobi. I would wish to have an explanation from the IG on the time difference between the time Ojwang was picked and his arrival at the Central Police Station. To the DCI, what criteria did you use to conclude that the OCS is the prime suspect? Because even for the members of the public who viewed the body at the city mortuary, the body does not actually appear fresh, meaning there was quite some time. It's either allegedly the officers at the Central Police were under duress to admit a half-dead person, because the time duration by arrival at Central Police and the time Ojwang was taken to Mbagathi, it was less than 1 hour Ojwang was declared dead, Mr. Speaker. So I do not wish to ask further questions, Mr. Speaker, but the death of young people like Ojwang, young people like Duke Nyabaro in Kisii who was found hanging and nothing really happened after that. I hope we are not just going to be emotional and this gathers dust, Mr. Speaker. We need to find why Ojwang, a young man from a peasant family, had to undergo this when they come to the city to try and make a living for themselves, Mr. Speaker. May his soul rest in eternal peace, and so sorry for the family and the people of Homa Bay. Thank you.
Senator Mariam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, we are only listening to one side of the story, Mr. Speaker. So I urge the committee first to listen to the Albert family and to hear more from them, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my question is about cybercrime. Mr. Speaker, cybercrime in Kenya is increasing. So how the DCI, why is it so important for this one to be so crucial up to someone, a young man, lost his life, Mr. Speaker? Does it mean the person who is issued by Albert is holding a big office? That's why he lost his life, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, IPOA listed 5 members of DCI who arrested Albert from Homa Bay, Mr. Speaker. But when it comes to the first prime suspect, why is it not them? Because when the Albert was admitted to central police stations, the OCPD refused to admit because of his health sector, because they said, we cannot admit him until maybe you have to take him to the hospital, Mr. Speaker. Then does it mean that 5 members of police of CIDs for DCI must be the first suspect to be interdicted, Mr. Speaker? Secondly, Mr. Speaker, when IG interdicted the police, Mr. Speaker, why are they not arrested and not put in jail so that the investigation will go on? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mbugua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Very quick clarification. First, from the IG, I would want to know the name of the officer and the designation of the officer who found the late Albert Ojwang in the state he was in the cell for him to be taken to the hospital. And secondly, still to the IG, I would want to tell this House the cell number and the holding capacity of the cell the late Albert Ojwang was in. And finally, I would want you to assure this House and the country at large that junior officers who will be involved who be called as witnesses in this matter will not be discriminated and they will be safe. Thank you, Speaker.
Senator Karen Nyamu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I know the IG of Police has apologized today for the initial statement, but that initial statement, Mr. Speaker, is tantamount to a cover-up. And we are curious to know on whose behalf was he doing that cover-up. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, when it is a VIP who is subject to investigations, it takes a very short time to have people charged in court. How many police officers were on duty in Central Police that night? Mr. Speaker, I have been held in Central Police cell myself. And so I know at night there's not so many police on duty. How come we don't have all of them taking plea? Where haven't they been charged to date? Because you cannot tell, such a crime cannot be committed in the ignorance of anyone in that cell. Everyone is what do you call it? Everyone is involved one way or another. Another thing, this complacency by the police is giving this government a very bad name. We have a tag on this government as a blood-based government. How many people have been charged with the death of the multiple Gen Zs who have died under this administration? It is not the work of the government to charge, it is the work of the police. Are you also involved in sabotaging our government? We want to know. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Asige, I'll give you your minute that you lost when you're doing your asking question.
Speaker, for acknowledging that I had lost a minute. The clerk's table, for some reason, has given every other senator 3 minutes, as you had instructed, but myself, when I stood, I only got 2 minutes, and that is on record. And I'm thankful for the extra minute. Speaker, what I was trying to say as I was concluding is that the IG spoke about a primary report having been the reason why he said the cause of death was suicide by Albert Ojwang. And I wanted to understand who was the person who gave him that primary report, because that might at least shed some light on whether that person, that officer who gave him the false report, is involved in the cover-up and obstructing of justice. And secondly, I wanted to know if this particular investigation is hinged upon one tweet, one post by the complainant. Where is this post? Because none of us have seen it. Can the DCI table that post so that we can analyze its veracity and its authenticity and make sure that it's not AI generated or tampered with in any other way? Thank you.
Now, honorable senators, I will now allow the You may now proceed, CS.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me start by thanking my colleagues, the senators, for really raising very weighty issues that I have, as I already said, some we have been able to note, some we will get it from the Hansard, and those which are concerning policy issues, Mr. Speaker, will do the proper follow-up. I also would like to say on the floor of this House that considering the number of cases that IPOA is being requested to investigate, Mr. Speaker, from a policy perspective, it's important as a country that we give IPOA more support in terms of resources and ability to hire more investigators so that these cases are heard and resolved expeditiously, because people are asking this question, Mr. Speaker, how come the one for Honorable Were was handled within a week or so, on a shorter time, and